Did you know that you can use renovations to improve your cap rate and property's value? Doing this to both the asset and the community at large helps increase the value of your asset. Now, this can have a dramatic and positive impact on your bottom line, and it makes you, as an investor, an asset to your corner of the world. I'm Matt Picheny, your backstage guide to passive investing, and I'm passionate about passive investments that create win-win scenarios for everyone involved. I talk about this all the time on my social media accounts, on stages across the country, and in videos just like this one, which is based on a popular article that I wrote that was published in Rent magazine. My book, Backstage Guide to Real Estate, chronicles my adventures going from an actor to a full-time investor and shares the 18 keystone concepts that I learned along the way. Now, keystone concept number 4 is all about adding value. With this strategy, you purchase an asset that is not at its best and highest use and then improve it. Maybe it's a property that was built 30 to 40 years ago and hasn't been updated since. Often value can be added by doing upgrades to unit interiors, by putting in new appliance packages, new paint, or new flooring. You can also make improvements to common areas like the hallways or the lobbies, and perhaps you can add some amenities to the property too, like a dog park or new pool furniture. These types of improvements really add up in terms of increased value while substantially improving the quality of the life for the folks who live there. These are the types of win-win deals that I love. Why a value add strategy works. Commercial real estate is valued through a simple mathematical formula. All investors use this to evaluate a property. This is the standard in the industry, and it's the way it's taught by everyone, from videos like this one to podcasts to mentoring groups and even classes at prestigious universities. Here is the formula. NOI divided by cap rate equals value. NOI is net operating income. This is all of the property's income minus all of the expenses. Cap rate is a metric used to evaluate different properties under the same terms so as to be able to make an apples to apples comparison. It removes the financing component and assumes that a property is purchased on an all cash basis. This way, investors understand a property's performance regardless of financing. High demand means lower cap rates, and lower demand will result in higher cap rates. What is forced appreciation? I like to invest in deals where I can make improvements to the property that I know will increase the value right away, rather than hoping that forces beyond my control turn out to be good for me. So I invest in deals where I can affect changes at the property and increase the NOI myself. If the NOI is increased, then the value of the property is forced up, hence the term forced appreciation. If you're finding value in this video, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel so you'll know when I share something new. A value add strategy in action. Here's how a value add strategy can pan out on an apartment complex. Let's say we purchase a 100-unit apartment building and we're able to implement improvements to the units that cost us $10,000 per unit, which allows us to raise the rent by $100 per unit. We spend $1 million, $10,000 per unit across 100 units, on renovating this property. Due to these improvements, we're able to increase the rents by $100 per unit, so our rental income has increased by $10,000 per month, or $120,000 per year. Now, if this property is in a market where the cap rate is 5%, we just apply our valuation equation. $120,000 divided by 5% equals $2.4 million. So, through this investment of $1 million, we've increased the property's cash flow by $120,000 per year, but even better, we've increased the value of the property by $2.4 million. A 140% return, more than doubling our $1 million investment. Now, this doesn't only work on large apartment complexes. Here's another real-world example of how this worked on a 6-unit property that I purchased. During our due diligence phase, the residents were given a few days' notice that the inspections of the units were going to take place, and overall, they were in good condition, except for one particular unit. Entering this unit with the inspection team was sort of a blur to me. I remember there was a lot of people there, and there was someone passed out on the couch, and this was at midday during the week. The unit itself was a shambles, filthy and disgusting. The unit had a washer and dryer, and the dryer had been ruined. These residents had been in the unit for a few years, and their rent was below market and below the rent of the other 2-bedroom unit in the building, even though this unit was a little bit larger and could be nicer than the others. I knew that whenever these residents moved out, we could do a nice renovation on the unit and achieve a much higher rent. Now, I would never kick them out, but I thought that within a few years, they might move out on their own. Well, as fate would have it, the day I closed on the property, they stopped paying rent. My property management team spoke with them about this several times, and over the course of a few months, we asked if they were having a hardship or if we could work out a payment plan, but we never got a response from them, and unfortunately, we had to bring them to court. They were evicted from the property, and this was not something that I wanted to do, but it was certainly our last course of action. After they moved out, we had a crew come in and clean the unit. I went to the property and talked with the contractor and pointed out some places where we could make some modifications to the walls and the door openings and to make the place more open. I also had them renovate the entire unit, new kitchen, new floors, paint. These renovations were not cheap. The unit was a disaster and we had to replace the hardwood floors. We even removed portions of the walls. Factoring everything in, the cost for renovating this unit was $19,121. The previous rent for the unit had been $900 per month, but we knew we would be able to rent the renovated unit for $1,195, which is an increase of $295 per month. The increase in rent would pay for the renovation in a little over 5 years, but it gets very interesting when we look at the increase in the value due to the renovation. We increased our NOI by $295 per month for a total of $3,540 per year. Now, an extremely conservative cap rate for the area is 6%, so if we plug that into our valuation formula, we can see that we increased the value of the property by $59,000. After removing the renovation costs, we have a $40,000 profit. This is a return on investment of over 210%. Finishing thoughts. Adding value to your property can be a wise investment. It improves the quality of life for the existing residents, giving them a nicer place to live. This can reduce vacancy and turnover costs. In addition, owners can see a significant increase in their monthly cash flow and a meteoric rise in the property's valuation as a result. Implementing a value-add strategy can be a win-win for everyone involved. I have a coaching program where I teach people how to implement value-add strategies just like this to become successful sponsors in real estate syndications. To learn more, join me backstage at Picheny.com.